Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a most marvelous day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel, and we are commanded to love one another. My voice is still not back right, so I'm going to be quick, but I just wanted to make this video about black immigrants continuing to come on social media platforms saying they're not black.
I don't care if I'm the first person to say this, but us Somalis are not black. There's a difference between African and black. Let me ask you a question. Are Moroccans and Egyptians black? Tradition, our history, our culture are so much more different compared to these other countries that are actually black. Joshua Bill, if you're not black, what are you? I'm Somali.
Well, first of all, nobody really cares that they're not black, but what they need to understand is that when they come to America, they don't get to say whether they're black or not. We look at you and we decide what you are. If you don't want to be black, don't come to the United States. They say, well, you're imposing identities on you. Well, yeah, we are, because it was imposed on us. Blackness was imposed on us based on what we look like. It didn't have anything to do with anything other than what we look like. And when you come here looking like black Americans, you are black. Now, we don't care what you call yourself or whether you think you're black or not. And as far as people like the Somalis, if you look like an Arab, nobody would call you black. The reason you're being called black is because you look like a black person. We know what Arabs look like, and they don't look like you, and you don't look like them. Even if you can speak Arab, even if you've lived among Arabs, that still doesn't make you an Arab. Same thing with the Dominicans. The only reason anybody is calling you black is because you look black. Nobody cares how you identify. If you come to the United States looking like a black person, you're black. If you don't want to be black, don't come to the United States. We are not going to be running around here tiptoeing around you because of how you want to identify. Stay in Somalia and be a Somali. Come to the United States, you're going to be black. Stay in the Dominican Republic and be a Dominican. Come to the United States and you're going to be black. If you look like a Latino, we're going to call you a Latino. If you look like an Arab, you will be called an Arab. If you look like an Indian, you will be called an Indian. If you look like a Chinese, you will be called a Chinese. If you look like a black person, you're going to be called a black person. If you don't like it, stay where you are. We are not going to tiptoe around you trying to regulate ourselves so you'll feel right. Because nobody cared about how we felt. We didn't want to lose our culture. We didn't want to lose our language. We didn't want to lose our land. We didn't want to lose our freedom. But we didn't have a choice in it, and you don't either. Stop whining to us about being a Somali. You're not even courageous enough to be a Somali. Because if you were, you would have stayed your ass in Somalia and not come running to the United States begging for food stamps and welfare and a project to live in. So don't even play with us, because we're not even to be played with like that. We need to get this straight once and for all. We are sick and tired of you immigrants trying to disrespect us. This is our country. We suffered and sacrificed to make this country work and to make it what it is. And you ran away from your country to come to this country because you were looking for an easier life. We had to build this country from the ground up. So you don't come over here telling us what you're not. You come over here and listen to what we tell you that you are. And if you don't want to be that, then you need to haul ass right back where you came from. The same thing goes for the Dominicans, the Puerto Ricans, and all the rest of them who come over here with this ass on their shoulder attitude that I'm not black. No, you're not good enough to be a black person because you don't have any guts. You don't have the courage to stay where you are and build where you are. You run all the time. You're runners. Cowards run. Brave people stand and fight. Black Americans built a marvelous economy here in the United States, and all of these conveniences that you enjoy when you get to the United States, many of them were put in place by black people, including discoveries in medicine and inventions in technology. We have accomplished more than all of you runners put together. And you have the audacity to come here trying to act like you're something special when you haven't accomplished anything in your own homeland. But you come running over here thinking you're going to get some kind of preferential treatment. White people haven't told you you were going to get any preferential treatment. They haven't told you that you were going to be able to identify with them. They didn't tell you that because they know that they don't see you that way. They see you just like we see you. If you look black, you're black. If you look like a Latino, then you can be a Latino. But you need to be a Latino, not an Afro-Latino, because if we see the Afro in it, then we see the black in it. Okay, so we need to bottom line this. Black Americans can see. We can see what you look like, and we can see what we look like. We know how the world looks at us, and we know how the world looks at you. So what you're trying to do is bully black Americans into not calling it what we see it. Maybe you hope that other people won't call you black too. But we all see you for what you are, and nobody is going to tiptoe around you. Nobody cares how you feel about it, because America doesn't care about how anybody else feels. America doesn't care about how you feel, and America doesn't care about how we feel. So your feelings are no more important than ours. So let's be very, very clear. Black Americans did not like being called black, nigger, negro, coon, monkey, none of that. We didn't like being called any of that. And it didn't make any difference to anybody how we felt about it. They still called us those names. Now all of a sudden, we're supposed to be so respectful of how you feel. Well, that's just not how it works. And anyway, some of y'all are ridiculous. You will run out of your own country, the country where people would have respected what you wanted to be called. So stay in your own country. That's how you do it. Don't come to somebody else's country and try to change the way they do things. Stay where people do things the way you want them done. And then you're going to come here and tell us that our eyes are fooling us. That what we say we're looking at is not what we're looking at. The only reason anybody's calling you black is because you look black. The only reason anybody is not calling you an Arab is because you don't look like an Arab. That's the way it works in America. It's really not how you want it to be, it's how it is. And this is how it is. So we couldn't go to anybody and say, well, don't call us this because we want to be that. We couldn't do that. And you're not going to do it either. You're going to be what we call you. Whatever we see, that's what we're going to call you. We're not trying to identify you. You identify yourself. You identify yourself. So everybody, we all listen to smart ass remarks about what black Americans are to say, what we do. We're going to do it like we do it. That's how we do it in the United States. That's how we do it. We call it like we see it. If we see a black person, we call it a black person. If we see a white person, we call it a white person. That's how we do it. You don't like it? The same thing that brought you across that ocean will take you right back across that ocean where people will call you what you want to be called. But as long as you stay here, we're going to call you whatever we want to call you. Got it? Okay, my voice is about to go out. So thank you for listening, everybody. Subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, and as always, have a great day.